Welcome to your energy update with the angels. I'm Devon, Duerr, angel intuitive and spiritual teacher. The overall energy right now is calling for you to stand your ground. You have made important decisions for your life, and you might find other people wanting to challenge you on that. However, the guidance is also to choose your battles wisely. We don't want to be jumping online and fighting and spending energy that is not going to serve us in the long run. If you'll stay tuned to the end of this video, before we dive deeper into this guidance, I want to remind you I will give you 3 actions the angels want you to take now, soon, and long-term plans to take that will help you to activate all of this guidance. So hearing what the overall energy is right now, you will now get more deeper, detailed guidance on how you can use that to manifest the things you are hoping to manifest. These new decisions, these new things that are coming in for you. So one of the things I like to always ask you to do the moment that we get started with these messages is to do a pocket affirmation. So if you feel called to do so, please go ahead and write in the comments below, I protect my personal power. So that's a short, quick pocket affirmation based on this guidance. So if you feel called to do that, I encourage you to. I protect my personal power. Write that in the comments below. All right, let's dive deeper into this guidance. And of course, at the end, I will give you another affirmation and a journaling prompt to help you really activate the guidance we are getting and understand what is meant for you and what might be meant for someone else, since this is a group message. But remember, the angels will never tell us what to do. So let's go back to that overall energy about standing your ground. What have you recently made a decision about regarding your beliefs or actions you want to take, where others around you might be going, I don't know if I like that this person is doing this. Maybe it makes them uncomfortable because they're afraid they're going to lose you. Maybe it just challenges their beliefs and they're feeling feisty about that. Well, they want you to know that it's going to be important you find time to work on self-discovery and spending time alone in quiet meditation and working more on understanding where you're going. You may feel challenged to do that if you have kids running around the house, if you have a lot of commitments for work, or maybe you have loved ones in the house that are not on the same track as you, and so you're finding it really hard to have that time alone to do that self-discovery and for that meditation. You can ask for help for that, and it will be important that you have that time for yourself as you begin to understand, where do I focus on standing my ground and where do I walk away from potential battles that just aren't going to serve anybody. Now, one of the things they want you to know that's going on subconsciously is you've been avoiding seeing the truth of a situation. You've gotten some new ideas and new inspirations, but you've had a lot of recent challenges with implementing these new ideas, and that does have to do with avoiding seeing the truth of something. So is there something you've been turning a blind eye to? Is there something you haven't really wanted to face because you know it's going to cause you to have to make some big changes in your life? And, also it sometimes is having that heart-to-heart conversation with a loved one who has a different viewpoint from you. Now, they do realize that recently you've realized you have to move on from something. This could be from a relationship, from a job, from a group of people or friends, but this is because of the spiritual transformation you are going for. So they want to commend you for being willing to, again, stand your ground, stand up for what your heart wants, so that you can move away from this energy that is no longer serving you. And the angels will help you to do that gently if you ask for their help. Now, another thing they want you to know is that at the time you're hearing these messages, it's going to be important that you learn everything you can from any challenges you are going through. Review everyone's motives, including your own. Is there a choice you have made recently that was not the wisest choice? It wasn't in your highest interest. What they're asking you to do is, instead of sit and worry about how that could potentially harm you down the road, look to see what you learned from it and how you can use that to help you avoid it down the road, or maybe even manifest something even better. So maybe you have had to leave a relationship, but the way it ended was painful. Maybe you thought you were going to start a creative project or a relationship with somebody and it didn't work out, and you found out that they had a totally different reason for doing it than you did. They want you to be really loving and patient with yourself. Remember to nurture yourself through that. Now, you do have other relations around you that very soon are going to go to a new level. So whatever those relationships that have recently fallen away, don't worry, that is opening the door and making room for new relationships to come in, or an existing relationship, like I said, to go to a deeper level. So think of who comes to mind first for you and really trust your intuition. It's important that you're nurturing yourself and your loved ones at the same time, but remember, we have to put ourselves first in order to have enough energy to nurture those around us. You are going to get a lot of personal power by falling in love with the resurgence of a relationship to something. Maybe you have recently decided to totally reinvigorate your love for your spiritual practice. You've decided you want to learn something new. You want to take your intuition, your intuitive abilities to a new level. Maybe you've decided to find a new home to work on this. Maybe you've joined a new church, a new group of people. Maybe you've even physically moved to a new location that's going to allow that spiritual growth. That is going to bring you so much personal power. So they want you to trust that this resurgence of love for something, even just love of life and love of your journey, love of your work, is so powerful for you. And this could even be your existing creative projects. Maybe you were feeling a little creatively blocked, or you just weren't as excited about working on them. Find ways to get excited again. Maybe that means going back to the drawing board with some things, changing some things. I know for myself, if you've been here a long time, and thank you for my subscribers that are here, I love you so much. You've seen me change the format on my videos a bunch, and I will continue to do that because sometimes I will begin to feel a little bit bored or apathetic about sitting down to record because I want it to be different. I want it to evolve. And the angels will literally say to me, then don't record. Don't hit that record button unless you're excited to get on camera. And that's really important with all our creative projects and everything that we are doing. If you are feeling apathy or boredom, you might not be feeling challenged enough, or it might be time to evolve, innovate, and change the way you're doing things. Now, you might also find that you've got a lot of people around you that are having self-fulfilling prophecies. They're expecting the worst. They're tossing and turning at night. They're complaining. So you want to be careful again that we are protecting our energy. And that's why at the beginning of this guidance, they were asking you to remember you do need to stand your ground and make sure you're having that quiet time alone for self-discovery. So that could be an environment where you're living in a very noisy environment, and you need a plan to go find that quiet space alone every day, even if it's only for 15 minutes. It may even mean telling your loved ones, hey, could you help out with the kids, or could you turn down the TV and just give me 20 minutes? I promise we'll hang out later, but I've really got to go sit down and work on these plans or work on learning something to do something better. So stand your ground in that way. We could, of course, do it in a nurturing and loving way. And when we do see those around us just getting very negative, we want to step away from that energy, send them love, but protect your energy. And this does also mean turning off those news headlines, turning off social media where you're hearing all these terrible things coming through. Watch out for this. How do we avoid that? And if you start to feel that fear, that's a sign that you need to step out of that energy. This is not burying our head in the sand. This is protecting our energy so that when it is time to face something, we have the energy needed, we have the resources available, we have the strategy because we've done that self-discovery. One of the things that could potentially get in the way from you moving forward with a lot of your goals is if you have too much going on, maybe life is out of balance, and this can cause those stress-related health concerns they were referring to, where you have sleepless nights, you have anxiousness. So it might be time to ask for help from others. Is there something you've been, again, avoiding doing, you haven't faced the truth of? And maybe if you just get help, it'll really bring a lot of relief and help you avoid those stress-related health concerns. This may mean seeking professional advice, either seeking a counselor if it has to do with relationships, seeking a professional like an accountant or financial manager to help you with your finances. But look around to see where you could ask for help and advice to relieve burdens and make sure you're keeping your relationships in balance, your health in balance, and your finances in balance. You know, I always tell you, if you've been here for a while, that those are the 3 areas that angels want you to always keep an eye on, because if we focus too much on work, our relationships or our health get out of balance. If we focus on our health too much, we end up ignoring work and relationship. And of course, you would say, why? How can I focus on health too much? That I could hear somebody thinking that. It doesn't mean that you're not focusing on health. It just means like, maybe you're overdoing it. You're working too hard to try to get an outcome when maybe your body needs you to rest more. Sometimes it's in the recovery that we gain the most advancement with our health. So ultimately, if you really focus on having that quiet time alone for meditation, for self-discovery, for learning more about your spiritual advancement, you are going to find that path towards enlightenment in a bigger and brighter way. Now, you're here because you're already on the path towards enlightenment. You're already doing the work. You are highly intuitive. You are a divine appointment. So know that in your heart when you hear those words. Where do you feel that in your body? Because it's really important to understand that the angels know when you're going to come across this video. They're highly efficient that way. So you are here because you're meant to hear these messages, and you can always check in with your physical body to see what resonates. Now we're going to go into the 3 actions, but I want to remind you that the reason that we do these affirmations and these journaling prompts at the end here is because it helps the things in this guidance that are meant for you to stand out and the things that are meant for somebody else to fall away. Now, also, sometimes they're just not meant for you right now. So just that quick reminder that you can come back to any of these messages anytime you feel called to and listen to them again, and there may be new messages for you. You can go to any of my old videos and do that because, again, the angels are so highly efficient. If you feel called, drawn to click on a video, and it doesn't just have to be mine, it can be anyone, and your intuition is telling you something feels right here, then there are messages there for you. So listen to your intuition when you're watching videos, whether it's these or anybody else's, and always check in to see, does this feel right? And that's, again, another reminder too, if it does feel off, just leave it behind. It's just not meant for you. It doesn't mean it's wrong, but it might be the fastest way for you to get where you want to go. So just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and share this video with anybody you think might benefit. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful you are here. I do have links below to my intuition tracker and my custom journal available with a 4-part webinar on Amazon that teaches you how to develop your intuitive abilities and deepen your connection with the angels if you want to check that out. Thank you so much for your patience here. Let's go back into this guidance and these 3 actions. The second pocket affirmation I would like you to write in the comments below if you feel called to is, I am highly creative. Okay, so at the beginning, they were talking about us standing our ground and doing self-discovery. Now, this pocket affirmation is for these next 3 actions. I am highly creative. Go ahead and write that in the comments below, because a lot of times we think we don't have creative solutions, but spending that quiet time alone in self-discovery is when those ideas come in so much faster and in more vivid ways so you can understand them. Then I'm going to remind you, if you would like to grab your journal and write down this journaling prompt, angels, what is in my highest interest to know right now? That's the question that allows the guidance to fall away that is not meant for you, and the guidance that is meant for you to really stand out, because you'll find that you don't even remember some of the guidance that comes through in this video if it's not meant for you. So angels, what is in my highest interest to know right now? The first action they want you to take right now, at the time you are hearing these messages, is show your resolve to others by remaining both objective and determined to overcome obstacles in a fair and compassionate manner. So this is that example again of where you're really needing that quiet time alone and self-discovery, and maybe your romantic partner is feeling ignored and saying, hey, I thought we were going to hang out. I thought you were going to help me out with the kiddos, whatever. Where can you overcome those obstacles in a fair way, be compassionate and say, all right, well, how about this? I'll take the kids for an hour while you go do something, and then we'll swap. And then at the end of that, we'll watch a movie together. Okay, that's just the example coming through to me. But look around to see where you can show your resolve by being determined, but also being fair and compassionate about how you handle any challenges to you, finding that quiet time alone for self-discovery and following what your heart wants. Now, the second action they want you to take very soon is to look for the middle ground and be able to more easily maintain your balance with your emotional, mental, and physical health. So again, like we were saying earlier, we want to look around to see where anything might be out of balance, stress-related health concerns, asking for help for others, seeking professional advice, and making sure you are looking for the middle ground. Again, this comes down to that idea of health. It's like we always want to focus on health, but is spending 3 hours at the gym every day really what your body needs? Maybe it needs a day off once a week. Maybe you do need to do things in moderation with your diet instead of cutting everything out at once. So you know what that is for you, but remember to maintain balance with your emotional, mental, and physical needs, and look to see how you can plan to continue to do that. So look down the road a little bit. Do you have a vacation coming up where you do need to schedule time for a little yoga or stretching so that you don't come back to the gym at the end and get super sore? You will feel more composed when others around you are out of balance, which is possible. Like they said, you might find others expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, but when you keep those things in balance, you will serve as a leader and you will guide others to a more balanced approach. And that's one of the things that we are here to do is, stand in our own light and set an example by just living from our heart, doing that self-discovery and following what our heart really wants while maintaining balance with our emotional, mental, and physical health. So one quick reminder too, if you haven't already, to hit that like and share button. I really appreciate it. And hit subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you to my amazing subscribers. The final action they want you to make long-term plans to make at the time you're hearing these videos is plan to be the one that is calling the shots. Face your fears and speak your mind boldly. If you heard at the very beginning, this totally follows through with standing up for your beliefs, but of course, choosing your battles wisely. Try new methods for getting where you want to go, even if you have never seen it done before. It's time to innovate your creativity. So as you heard, we had that pocket affirmation, and if you haven't already, write it down below in the comments. I am highly creative, because this is going to help you with that innovation. It's so important that you are willing to stand up as a leader of light. And again, I like to remind you, you found this video for a reason. You are highly intuitive. Even if you don't use them on a regular basis right now, you're here to start activating that. You are activated as a light worker. So I love that line that came through. Plan to be the one calling the shots. You're going to have to stand your ground, but choose your battles wisely. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.